Hey everyone! Whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or nothing at all, there's a good chance you'll be making some sort of winter decoration this year. And what says winter better than snow? Let's go ahead and add some snow to the candy cane text, which we created not too long ago. If you missed that tutorial, it's available right now on iceflowstudios.com. For this process, we're going to be creating a custom brush and then painting on a layer with a few layer styles. Let's start with the brush. In your tools bar on the left, grab your brush tool. Don't worry too much about the initial brush as we're going to be customizing it to fit this project. If your brush panel is not visible on the right side of your workspace, which it probably won't be, head up to the window menu and then down to brush. This panel will allow us to customize every aspect of our brush in order to get the results that we're looking for. Let's start in the brush tip shape section. In terms of the size of the brush, it really depends on the area that you're going to be working with. I'm going to start with a 40 pixel brush, which can be easily adjusted later on. At the bottom, we only want to change the hardness and the spacing. Set the hardness at 60% and the spacing all the way to the left. 1% is as low as you can go. Hopping into the shape dynamics section, the only setting that we want to adjust is the size jitter. Make sure that's all the way to 100%. This will help create clumps of snow throughout the design. Everything else should be set to off or 0%. And last, let's add a texture to our brush. As you might guess, this will help add fluffiness to the edges of our brush. In the drop-down list of patterns, find and select the clouds pattern. If by chance you don't see that pattern available, click on the arrow at the top right corner of this window, select patterns, and then choose append to add those patterns to the list. Once you have the pattern selected, turn the scale up to 200%, set the mode to linear burn, and the depth at 70%. Now it's time to brush in our snow. Go ahead and create a new layer in your layers panel, and then starting with the 40 pixel brush, I'm going to rough in the large clumps of snow around the top of the text, and then using my square bracket keys I can increase or decrease the size of the brush. The left square bracket key will decrease the brush while the right square bracket key will increase it. It might be a good idea to incrementally decrease the brush as the snow is coming to an end. At this point our snow shape is complete, but it doesn't really look like snow, it just looks like white clumps. We need to add some layer styles to give it some depth. Let's start with a drop shadow to pull the snow slightly away from the text. As we don't want anything too overpowering, decrease the opacity to 30%, turn off global light and set the angle at 90 degrees, set the distance at 2 and the size at 3. This will give us a nice subtle shadow under our snow. Next we're going to add an inner shadow to give depth to the snow. The color of the shadow is up to you, but I found a nice blue to work well. I'm going to use the value 3065C7. Decreasing the opacity to 50% will blend it really nicely. You'll also want to make sure to turn off global light and set the angle at 90 degrees as well. Now at the bottom, increase the distance to 6 and the size to 8 in order to soften out the shadow. Now as always, if you're working with a larger or smaller document, you'll definitely need to tweak the layer styles to get the results that you're looking for. Next we're going to add a slight pattern overlay to add some clumps to this design. In the patterns drop-down, select the clouds pattern once again. Now to blend the pattern with our snow, change the blend mode to linear burn, the opacity to 15%, and then decrease the scale to around 50%. And that should do it. Seeing that we created the snow from a brush and layer styles, you can now tweak it however you like. If you want to have a little fun with your snow, go ahead and add a satin, decrease the opacity to 15%, increase the distance and size a little bit, and then change the color to yellow. If you want to check out my other holiday tutorials, they're available right now on iceflowstudios.com. Take care.